Vasudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashtiprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text 13 onwards. So Krishna is speaking about the karma, the work that has been done for the pleasure of Krishna, Karma Yoga. So in the previous verse, there was a line in the purport. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yajna. And thieves was, in the shloka it came that if we use whatever facilities we are given by the Lord without offering them back, then we are thieves. Obviously, we are just stealing things for our own enjoyment. And a thief, society of thieves can never be happy. So further, Krishna says, Yagya Shishta Sina Santo Muchyante Sarvakilbhisha Bhungsete Tvagam Papa Ye Pachante Atma Karana. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. See, all these hotels or industry that we have, basically preparing sin and feeding sin, and everybody who's eating there is eating sin because food is not offered to the Lord. Clearly says Krishna, right? The devotees of the Lord are free, released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Means they recognize everything belongs to Krishna. They offer it to Krishna. Offer it with love and devotion. And Krishna accepts it, then eat. Eating is not prohibited. Eating whatever you want to do, or whatever, not like meat or anything else. Whatever nice food one wants to eat, one can eat. All he has to do is offer it to Krishna first. That's all. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called santas, and they are always in love with the Lord as it is described in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadeva hrideshu vilokayanti. The santas, being always in a compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, that all attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. This is so simple. First offer it. And actually, when Prabhupada started the movement here, and he's preaching, and he's saying, whatever you do, first you have to offer it to Krishna, whatever you take. So devotees were even, they're buying new dhoti and they were offering it to Krishna. Without offering, we cannot even wear it. So the point is, especially the food part, because in the shloka Krishna, they verily eat only sin if they don't offer it to me. Offer it to the Lord, yajna. Therefore, such devotees always perform yajnas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archan, etc. And these performances of yajnas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for self, for sense gratification, are not only thieves, but also the eaters of all kinds of sins. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful. It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtan Yajna in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in the world. In the world, there cannot be peace or happiness. The formula is given right here. Simple thing. Just whatever we eat, we offer it to Krishna. So obviously, we're not going to eat something nonsense, meat or have liquor, because that cannot be offered to Krishna. So just offer. And same thing about onion, garlic. People talk about onion. Oh, they have medicinal values, so we can eat. They have vegetables. First of all, if we know how they were produced, how they came into existence, onion and garlic, and mentioned in the Puranas, then they're not even considered vegetarian. And if they have so much of medicinal values, and if they're considered vegetables, why? Now Navratras are starting. In Navratras, we don't eat onion, garlic. Those who follow the system. Why? If they're vegetables, why it is not offered to Krishna in the bhoga if they're vegetables? So something is there that prohibits them to be used. So, and also, even if we say logic, even if the argument wise we say they have vegetables we can eat, they have medicinal values, but we don't make a soup of crocin or paracetamol, do we? We just take one tablet and that's it. So even if we want to take medicine, we'll just take very limited quantity. We don't chop up onions and garlic and make chonk and sabji and use so much. No, that's not for medicinal value. That's for the taste of the tongue. So even if we want to use them as medicine, just take little amount. That's it. But problem is that's not what people eat them for. So having a sattvic food, wonderful food, offer it to Jagannath or Krishna first, then eat, no problem. But people, because we have so much of contamination in our thought process, we want to find loopholes, we want to give all kinds of logics and arguments, but not doing what the scriptures say. And scriptures say, and here it is said, one cannot be peaceful or happy if he is not following this simple process. And where does the an come from? Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhava yagyat bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yagya, sacrifice. Yagyat bhavati parjanyo. And yagya is born of prescribed duties. Simple as that. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, a great commentator on Bhagavad Gita, writes as follows. The Supreme Lord, who is known as Yagya Purush, or the personal beneficiary of all sacrifices, is the master of all the demigods, who serve him as the different limbs of the body serve the whole. Demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna are appointed officers who manage material affairs, and the Vedas direct sacrifices to satisfy these demigods, so that they may be pleased to supply air, light, and water sufficiently to produce food grains. When Lord Krishna is worshipped, the demigods or different limbs of the Lord are also automatically worshipped. Therefore, there is no separate need to worship the demigods. No separate need to worship the demigods, true, but we're not supposed to disrespect the demigods at the same time. Disrespecting is wrong because they all Vaishnava, they're all devotees of the Lord. And they have been given these managerial posts of different affairs of the universe. So they run the universe on behalf of Krishna. And they supply. We think it is just, we just take it for granted. Air, sunlight, water, it's just going to keep on coming. But somebody has to be there who's controlling it. So these are the demigods. And also, another thing, that message is going around on WhatsApp and Facebook for so many years. Are there 33 crore demigods or 33 koti demigods, Devi Devta? Yes, scriptures mention 33 koti, but koti doesn't mean 33 kinds. Koti also means crore. So they interpret koti 33 kinds of demigods. There don't need to be 33 crore. Why not? There's so many departments of the universe, so many. Not just light and air and water. Every organ of our body is also controlled by a particular demigod. Every organ, just like eyebrow blinks. The blinking of eyebrow is called, the time taken is called Nimesh, because it is controlled by Nimi Maharaj. Every part is controlled. What about our body? Just like there is a story of Sanatan Goswami when he was at Manasi Ganga. He was doing his bhajan, and there's a Lord Shiva's temple nearby, Chakleshwar Mahadev. So Sanatan Goswami, one day he was leaving that, and Shivji took the form of an old Brahman. He went after him. Baba, why are you leaving? Sanatan Goswami, there are too many mosquitoes here, and they disturb me. I cannot do my bhajan properly. Then Brahman said, okay, let me try to do something. Because it was Lord Shiva. And it is mentioned that he called the demigod who's in charge of mosquitoes and told him there should not be any mosquitoes here, because Sanatan Goswami has to say, I like his bhajan. I want to hear his bhajan. And if Mahadev says that demigod of mosquitoes had to follow his order. So there's a demigod of mosquitoes. He controls the mosquitoes. And so that is why there are 33 crore demigods. They're required. Of course, it is said Krishna is the supreme and all demigods serve him. So when Krishna is worshipped, we don't need to worship other demigods. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be bitten by mosquitoes or other health issues won't be there. But all it means is we have to serve Krishna and perform our yajna for his pleasure. And when this yajna is performed, there is proper rainfall. And when the rainfall is there, the foodstuff is grown. The crops are grown by which we can eat the food. So it all comes from yajna. For this reason, the devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna consciousness offer food to Krishna and then eat, a process which nourishes the body spiritually. By such action, not only are past sinful reactions in the body vanquished, but the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. Not immunized to maybe corona disease. Of course, if Krishna wants, he can save a devotee's body also, whatever he wants, he can do. But contamination of material nature means the Maya, the attraction or attack of Maya. One gets immunized to that. When there is an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from the attack of such an epidemic. Similarly, food offered to Lord Vishnu and then taken by us makes us sufficiently resistant to material affection And one who is accustomed to this practice is called a devotee of the Lord. Just by eating prasadam, these things can happen. Resistant to material affection means no more falling into the clutches of Maya. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness who eats only food offered to Krishna can counteract all reactions of past material infections, which are impediments to the progress of self-realization. See, so important to eat only prasadam, only Krishna prasadam. Many times when we go to Brajvasis' homes, we see they are not offering. But Brajvasis, they are Brajvasis. They're just, they're born in Braj, means they're already topmost devotees of Krishna. So whatever they cook, even Krishna looks to eat that food. He is hankering to eat that food. So whether they offer, whether they don't offer, Krishna is already accepting that. But this is for us who are so much in the beginning stages of devotional service. On the other hand, one who does not do so, does not offer the food to Krishna and eats that, continues to increase the volume of sinful action. And this prepares the next body to resemble hogs and dogs, to suffer the resultant reactions of all sins. It's heavy. The material world is full of contaminations, and one who is immunized by accepting prasadam of the Lord, food offered to Vishnu, is saved from the attack. Whereas one who does not do so becomes subject to contamination. But there's one thing, that suppose somebody is practicing devotional service for the last 10 years. Let's just go with one figure. So every day, if we are eating prasadam, every day we eat what? Maybe if you take the average of a whole day, just to be on the safe side, calculation purposes, 1 kilo of food, 1 kg, throughout the day. So 1 year, 365 kgs. 10 years, 3,650 kgs of food. Prasadam we have eaten. And still, our consciousness is not purified, not completely purified. Some purification is there. See, just imagine the contamination of our consciousness. Even 3,650 kg of prasadam hasn't purified it yet. How much longer it will take? And the prasadam, now we're talking about prasadam because the verse is like that. Once Narad Muni heard all the glories of Vishnu Prasad. So he thought, let me go to Vaikuntha and get some prasadam. So he went to Vaikuntha. So instead of going to Lord Vishnu, he went straight to Lakshmi Ji. He said, Mother, I have heard so many glories of prasadam, Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu's prasadam. And you are the in charge of that cooking and afterwards taking care of it. So please give me some. And Mother Lakshmi said, no. Lord Vishnu has told me not to give his prasadam to anybody and I'll get in trouble if I give it to you. Not only, Mother, I'm like your son. I can ask you, please give me some. Lakshmi Ji said, no. He has strictly told me not to give. So I cannot disobey him. So Narad Muni thought, he said, okay, at least let me help you taking care of cooking and cleaning in the kitchen. Okay, son, you can do that. So Narad Muni stayed there for a while and helping Mother Lakshmi. And after a few days of seeing his service, Narad Muni again asked, Mata, please give me something. So Lakshmi ji said, okay, I'll give you some very little prashadam. Don't tell anybody, don't tell Lord Vishnu, otherwise I'll get in trouble. Narad Muni, okay, I will not tell anybody. So Lakshmi ji gave him just little amount of prashadam. After having that prashadam, Narad Muni went into ecstasy of Krishna Prem. And he started dancing. He started dancing and dancing. He was playing his veena, dancing and jumping and chanting the glories of the Lord. And he dancing like that. He came to Kailash. Kailash, Shivji saw him. Shivji said, Narad Muni, why you're so happy? You're in ecstasy. You're dancing and singing. And actually, you don't even know where your veena is going. What's going on? Why you're so happy? Narad Muni said, oh, today I got Vishnu Prasad. Today I got Vishnu Prasad. I ate that and I'm so happy. Shivji said, Narad Muni, you are my younger brother. You're supposed to give me some. You cannot just be so greedy that you ate it all by yourself. Then Narad Muni realized, yeah, I made a mistake. But then he saw there was little prashadam in his left in his nails, actually, fingernails. So he took one, just that grain, and he gave it to Shivji. And Shivji ate. And Shivji ate Vishnu Prasad, and he started dancing. It was like nobody knew where the Nandi was and where his Damru went. It was practically he was doing Tandav Nritya. He was so happy and dancing after eating that one simple grain of prasad. He went into ecstasy. And then Parvati ji came out. She said, why are you dancing? Narad Muni, why are you dancing? And Shivji, why are you dancing? What's happening? And Shivji was dancing. Oh, today I got Vishnu Prasad. Today I got Vishnu Prasad. Today I got Vishnu Prasad. And he was dancing. And Parvati ji said, well, I'm your wife. Did you keep some for me? And now Shivji stopped and they said, well, actually, I got just one grain and I just ate it and I didn't think of you. And Parvati ji got upset. She said, what is it? What kind of husband you are? You're supposed to keep up for me, whatever you got. And so Parvati ji said, okay, she started doing austerities. She said, I'll please Lord Vishnu and I'll get his prasad. So she started austerities. Lord Vishnu got pleased and he appeared. He said, what do you want? She said, you should give me your prasadam. Then Lord Vishnu said, as Jagannath, when I come and when I perform, when I have my temple in Jagannath Puri, so first I will get prasad, I'll get bhoga, and then the bhoga will first go to you. You'll be there, your temple will be there as Bimla Devi. The bhoga will then go to you as first prasad, and when you eat, it will become Mahaprasad. Then it will be distributed to all my devotees. So every day you will get Chapan Bhog, every day, without fail. And there is still the tradition in Jagannath. From Jagannath Ji, the bhoga then goes to prasad, that goes to the Bimla Devi's temple. It's right in the same complex. And then it is distributed to everybody. This is how glorious prasadam is. And in Jagannath Puri, because this is Lord Jagannath's prasadam never gets contaminated, prasadam is never soiled, nothing happens to prasadam. Means, and this I have noticed also, when we have prasadam in Jagannath Puri, from our plate, even Panda can come and eat something because it never gets contaminated. No matter who is eating, it's always divya. Normally, we don't want anybody to touch our plate and because hamara jhutha ho gaya, but not in Jagannath Puri. There is no such thing as jhutha. Even if it is fallen on the ground, and can pick it up and eat it. We got Jagannath Prasad. Even a dog can eat from our plate and we still continue to eat. There is a nice drink in Jagannath Puri. It's called Tuk Toran. It's made from rice which is left over after the whole prasadam is sold at the night, the rice that is left over, the fermented rice, from that they mix water and other like spices. They don't use some grind spices like curry pata and green chili, lemon, and they make this wonderful drink. And first time when I was there in Jagannath Puri, so after having prasadam, we saw in Anand Bazaar they were selling this drink. And I said, okay, give me 1 cup. And he gave in a mitti cooler and asked me to drink it. So after drinking, I was looking around the cooler. That's all. Let me throw it. Where should I throw it? And that person who was selling, he said, give me the cooler back. I said, nahi, jhootha ho gaya. I have to throw it. He said, there's no such thing in Jagannath Puri. From before you, so many thousands of people have drank from this cooler, and so many people will afterwards also. There's no such thing in Jagannath Puri. Basically, he was chastising me that you all ISKCON people, you come, you don't know anything. Jagannath Puri. This is the glories of prasadam. This is what prasadam is. And we take it so simply, it is prasad. No, that is why Prabhupada said we have to honor prasadam. Prasadam is non-different from Krishna. It has become spiritualized. It looks like food, but it is spiritualized. And it is non-different from Krishna. So we have to honor, we have to respect it properly. Food grains or vegetables are factually eatables. The human being eats different kinds of food grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. And the animals eat the refuse of the food grains and vegetables, grass, plants, etc. Human beings who are accustomed to eating meat and flesh must also depend on the production of vegetation in order to eat the animals. Because the animals eat all these vegetables, they grow, and human beings, because they have higher intelligence, they cut up those animals, they eat the flesh. Therefore, ultimately, we have to depend on the production of the field and not on the production of big factories. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky. Without water, we cannot grow any food anywhere. And the water comes from rain. We think it comes from ground sources. No, even from ground. For ground sources, the water has to come from rain. And such rains are controlled by demigods like Indra, sun, moon, etc. And they are all servants of the Lord. So the rains don't just happen on their own. We think, it's just a natural cycle. The sunlight evaporates water from the ocean and they become cloud and then the rain happens. But the rain, it's such a complex process, actually. So the sun, because of sunlight, the ocean water gets vaporized. Fine. But the vapors have to go to a certain height. It's like, 20, 25,000 feet above ground. It's not the vapors are only 10 feet above ground, up to 15 and it becomes rain. No. They have to go all the way to that kind of level, height. And it can only go because of wind or air. And when it goes to that level, the temperatures are very much below freezing. So they freeze at that temperature, the vapors. And the vapors together, they become cloud. And then the clouds are carried from the ocean by wind to the place where the rain is supposed to happen. Not just everything gets dropped. Suppose in India, clouds are formed in Kerala, in the southern side. Not that everything is going to get dropped in Kerala only. Everything is controlled. Which cloud is going to go to Delhi, which cloud is going to go to MP, and which cloud is going to go to UP. Everything is controlled. Somebody is controlling all these things. And when they're going to, sometimes the clouds are traveling and people think, suppose in Bombay or in Gujarat, the clouds are traveling, they think it is cloudy, it's going to rain here. But no, it's not going to rain. They are going somewhere else to produce the rain. And then suppose they come to Delhi, and then nowadays Delhi is seeing lots of rain. And sometimes there is no rain. Why? It depends upon the performance of sacrifice. Rains happen because of sacrifice. Yagyat bhavati parjanyo. So sacrifice, of course, here it is a yagya karma samudbhava. By following the prescribed duties, that is yagya. So following prescribed duties, either we do the yagya by prescribed duties of Kshatriya, Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra. Whatever prescribed duties is, they do it properly, that is yagya. That pleases the Lord. Varnashram system means to please the Lord. Yagya means pleasing the Lord. Howsoever we please, that is what yagya is. So that is why in Satyuga, people used to live very happily. Everybody was performing their duties properly in Varnashram system, and nature was cooperating. Rains, proper rains at the right time, no earthquakes, no hurricanes, no all sorts of nonsense. And it is mentioned in Satyuga, people didn't even have to cultivate the grounds. Earth was giving everything automatically. Whatever you want to eat, she will produce. Treta Yuga, some contamination happened. Dwapara Yuga, some more contamination. Kali Yuga, more contamination. People don't even have knowledge of all this. Forget about following everything. So then, okay, Varnashram Yagya, if we cannot do, if we're not inclined to do Sankirtan Yagya, which is a prescribed method for this age. And if we do that, then the Lord is pleased, all the demigods are pleased. Rains will happen on their own, will come if we are doing Sankirtan Yagya. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky, and such rains are controlled by demigods like Indra, sun, moon, etc. And they're all servants of the Lord. The Lord can be satisfied by sacrifices. Therefore, one who cannot perform them will find himself in scarcity. That is the law of nature. Yagya, specifically the Sankirtan Yagya prescribed for this age, must therefore be performed to save us at least from scarcity of food supply. So now there is, suppose, giving the example of rain, now in Delhi we are having too much rain. So is that lots of Yagya? People are doing? No. It is again, no rain or too much rain. It's because of lack of yagya. It's a punishment. So we have to do yagya, and then Krishna will give us sufficient amount of rain, sufficient amount of foodstuffs. So we can live happily and perform the yagya more, and then at the end of life go back to God. Because Krishna is pleased. If we don't do, then we cannot live happily or peacefully in this lifetime, and do again all sorts of nonsense activities, do sinful activities, and that get reactions. Reactions can come this lifetime, next lifetime, or from in some other lifetime, and we keep on suffering here. And this is why Kali Yuga, what is going to happen towards the end? There will be no rain for 100 years, complete drought. And then everything will be burned by the fire coming from Sankarshan. No, not Kali Yuga, at the time of devastation, complete devastation. Then there'll be so much of fire. Everything will be burned to ashes. And then there'll be rain for 100 years. It will completely inundate the whole universe. So no rain, lots of rain, it's not a good sign. Exact amount of rain. And that too, some places in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, the clouds would come at night and produce rain. Why? Because they don't want to disturb the farmers in the daytime. Because daytime farmers have to go out and cultivate the land. So clouds say we are too ashamed, or we don't want to disturb them in the daytime. So they come at night and give the rain. Controlled. Everything is controlled. If we are living according to the scriptures. And this is what Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita. This is how he has designed the system. But we think we know better. And that's when the problem starts. Text 15. Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmata sarvagatam brahma nityam yajna pratishtitam. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifesting from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice. So Vedas, everything is mentioned in the Vedas. Yagyartha karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna only, is more expressly stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of the Yajna Purusha, Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahma, or the transcendental Vedas. So there are three things: Brahm, Brahma, Brahman. They're all different. Brahm means spiritual. Like they say, Aham Brahmasmi, or Brahm Jyoti, or anything Brahm. That means spiritual. But here Brahm means transcendental Vedas, which are also spiritual. The Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of Vedas is called vikarma, or unauthorized or sinful work. Without the direction or against the direction of the Vedas is vikarma. And therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work. As one has to work in ordinary life by the direction of the state, one similarly has to work under the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. So even in our life, we cannot work just whimsically. We follow the directions of the state, of the government. Otherwise, we'll get punished. So similarly, the life, living in this world also, there are some guidance, there are some instructions. That is Vedas. Such directions in the Vedas are directly manifested from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedas come from breathing of the Lord. So simple. The four Vedas, namely the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samveda, and Atharva Veda, are all emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead. The Lord, being omnipotent, can speak by breathing air, for as it is confirmed in the Brahm Samhita, the Lord has a omnipotence to perform through each of his senses the actions of all other senses. The Lord can do anything. From every sense, he can perform the action of every other sense, or all the senses. It's not like when we offer him bhoga on a plate, he can physically eat also the way we eat, but he is not bound by that. He only looks at it, glances at it, and he eats it. He can do that also. In other words, the Lord can speak through his breathing and he can impregnate by his eyes. In fact, it is said that he glanced over material nature and thus fathered all living entities. So by his glance, all the souls from his body were there at the time of devastation come out at the time of creation and they enter the universe. Just by him looking at every universe, the souls enter each and every universe. And whatever species Brahmaji has made, and depending upon the soul's karma, desires, when he left the body, he gets those bodies in those planets, particular planet, in that planet, in particular house or family, he gets that body. This just by his glance. After creating or impregnating the conditioned souls into the womb of material nature, he gave his directions in the Vedic wisdom as to how such conditioned souls can return home back to Godhead. Because he is not a cruel Lord that, okay, now you are caught in this material world and stay here and suffer forever, eternally, hellish life. No. So idea of this material world is for our rectification, purification. So we live here, and those who are fortunate, they understand the Vedic wisdom, learn the Vedic directions, live accordingly, and so rectify themselves so that we can go back home, back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world where we all belong. We should always remember that the conditioned souls in material nature are all eager for material enjoyment. But the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to Godhead, having finished his so-called enjoyment. Actually, there is no enjoyment here. Enjoyment, what we try to go for is only sense gratification, and we think we are enjoying, and there is no enjoyment, really. It is a chance for the conditioned souls to attain liberation. Therefore, the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yajna by becoming Krishna conscious. Even those who have not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness, and that will take the place of performance of Vedic yajnas or karmas. So this is how everything is designed. First, we don't want to follow Vedas or anything. Okay, fine. And slowly we get frustrated. Somebody guides us. Okay, at least follow something. Do some karma kanda, some tapa, some dan, something, some vrata. In Sanatan Dharma, we have been given so many things to follow. Like now, Navaratras are coming. So many people follow Navaratras. They fast for 8 days or 9 days, and then they worship Durga, and then they do this kanjaks and this and that. Do that. Good. At least follow something. Then other festivals will come. Dashera will come, and then Diwali, and then Kartik month will start. Do something. So that means slowly we are making progress. But then somehow or other, one comes into contact with the devotees of the Lord. Then he starts performing devotional service. One who is doing devotional service, he doesn't need to do all this. But if he still wants to do, go ahead. There's a mixed devotional service, fine. Better than no devotional service. But slowly, this is how we make progress. It's not like one size fits all. Not going to happen. Everybody is at a different stage of progress, different level of consciousness. So we make progress from the stage where we are at. And this is how, but the best thing that Prabhupada has given, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given, just chant the holy names. That's all. For Kali Yuga, this is the best thing to do. And that's what Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness, that will take the place of performance of all kinds of Vedic yagyas or karma. So one does not need to do, just follow the process, the principles of Krishna consciousness. So everything is very, very scientific and very powerful if we follow these Vedic instructions. And those who don't have faith, those who make mockery of this system, kisne dekha, kal kisne dekha, who has seen tomorrow? Who has seen what is going to happen after death? No, Vedas, no, everything is in the Vedas. Just like when some technical students ask me these questions, and I say, have you seen electrons? You all are electronic engineers or computer engineers, software engineers. It's all based on electronics. Electronics means electrons. Have you seen electrons? Or the movement of electrons? No. Oh, it's given by that scientist or this scientist, but you haven't seen. You're following that scientist. So here, Vedas. Vedas given by, coming from Krishna, compiled by Ved Vyasi himself. So he is saying, do this, 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 and you'll get this, 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 this. So why doubt it? So many things go on faith. Medical science, for us, it's totally faith. Doctor prescribes some medicines, we go to the pharmacy, we just buy the medicines and pop the pill in. That's it. We think we'll be okay. We don't know what the chemical composition of that pill is. We don't know what exactly it's going to do, but because we have faith in the doctor and the pharmacy company and the pharmacist, we just take the medicine and we get okay. So why not take this medicine? Matter of faith, yes. But that's what somehow, somewhere we have to start. But the result as given in the scriptures are not just fictional stories. So the results are amazing. Amazing results one can get. So I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Very good class, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Enjoyed
Thank
it.
you.
Whenever you listen, a lot of memory comes in between.
Especially of Jagannath Puri.
Yes, Prabhuji. That is Jagannath Puri. True, very true, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the revision happened with this. More dots get connected, kind of thing. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, Jagannath Puri is known for the prasadam.
Yeah, but true, Prabhuji. It's mysterious.
Yep. Yeah. Very, very mystical place.
Yeah.
Prabhuji is building up now, curiosity to go there, eagerness to go to take a darshan of Jagannath ji. इतना बोलती हूँ जगन्नाथ जी मेरे घर पे तो आ गए, मुझे भी अपने घर पे बुला लो एक बार दर्शन के लिए.
Well, let's hope we can go for Rath Yatra next year. Next year, let's hope.
If not possible in Rath Yatra, we can otherwise also we can,
Rath Yatra is a time you will experience the best thing.
Acha.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yes, we can go other time also. We'll try. Let's see. Chalo,
very
so
much.
we all have,
Thanks a lot.
we all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare